So I remember I was doing a class down in Virginia for my doctorate. And I remember I was going from this one community back to Richmond, Virginia. And I kind of went this way that this GPS took me, and it kind of took me through this almost like a Sleepy Hollow kind of an area. And I was driving along, and I had this black sort of SUV. It wasn't really an SUV, but kind of. And anyway, I'm driving along, and I get onto finally out of this area. It was quite, it was dark and that sort of thing. And the trees even kind of overhung, and it was, 50 kilometers or 30 miles an hour through that area or whatever. It was quite beautiful, but yet just kind of weird how my GPS took me on this shortcut, which really wasn't. But anyway, I get back on the interstate or on the highway, and then I step it down to 70 miles an hour, thinking that's what the speed limit is. I didn't know that it was 60. And then I get pulled over, and it wasn't really because I was speeding, but more because I guess the black SUV, there was somebody who had been drinking and driving or something like that. And so they were just checking people. And so this gentleman comes up, and he's from Powhite County, Virginia. Okay. He's a sheriff or deputy or whatever he was. He comes up to me and he says, you see your license and all that sort of thing? Yeah, for sure. And he says, I said, what's wrong, officer? I said, and he said, well, there's a black SUV, drunk driver, blah, blah, blah. Obviously it's not this vehicle, but he said, I'll just run your license and that sort of thing. And he went back to his vehicle, and then he comes back literally about 3 minutes later and says, Mr. Garinger, he says, here's your license back. He said, how y'all doing up there in Humboldt, Saskatchewan?
Wow.
No way.
And then he starts telling me, we spend 15 minutes at the side of the highway with him talking to me about the impact that it had on his community. That his kids don't have, there's nothing to really much to do with hockey in that state.
Yeah.
Yet the impact of having kids on a bus and people, that doing what they love, and then all of a sudden, so his kids were in band, or they rode the bus to school or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how the community reacted to it as well. It wasn't just about hockey and doing something you love that way. It might be doing something you love, like going to school or going to band practice or band concerts or doing whatever it might look like. That's kind of the nature of how it hit people, and you didn't realize it. Because again, I mean, I had a strong sense by then. That was in the middle of July, or early to mid-July kind of thing. And so, but it was incredible. And so he's telling me about this, about how it impacted their community. And this is in Powhite County. I've never heard of it in my life prior to that, and I'll never forget it, in terms of just talking about the impact that it had on their community, their children, their families. And like I said, that's down in Virginia.